All right, let's talk a little bit. Let's talk TV and movies tonight, um, and the TV shows that have ended that we would like to one day see a feature film follow up for. So it could be just any show from the past few decades or whatever, or any point in time, where a realistic sequel could actually take place with like the original cast and things like that. So not like a remake or adaptation like Addams Family or Brady Bunch, but something more like Deadwood the movie, El Camino, a Breaking Bad movie, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, we want to hear after the fact, or if you're watching this on Twitch during any of the TV shows you would like to one day see become movies. For whatever reasons, you don't feel that the finale did it justice. The show got canceled, so it didn't really get to have a proper finale. Any reason at all that you think is worthy. But yeah, let's before we get into that later today in our feature presentation, we'll just do a little bit of a tease and talk right now about what we believe was the best TV to movie sequel so far. And we are kind of cheating with this one because the TV show is still on the air. And the fact that it's pretty crazy that the movie came out over 20 years ago and the TV show is still on the air. But if you can't guess it already, it is South Park, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut. I believe it came out in 1999 after season 3 of South Park aired. They must be on what now? 24 of South Park at this point in time.
It's got to be over 20.
Yeah, it's something mind-boggling. I don't think when we started watching this show in elementary school or when we saw this movie in middle school, that anyone would have thought it would still be running now. And we still haven't even seen a sequel to this movie yet. So that would be something cool if we can get a second South Park movie. Whether they go the musical route or not, there's something about them being able to go full R-rated, which is just a lot of fun.
That's probably why they did it, though, too, because they probably couldn't have guessed that they would have this long of a lifespan on television, especially with the kind of the boundaries they were pushing. So,
yeah, it was very different. Like the cable atmosphere back then, like what they could do on Comedy Central now is very different than what they could do back in the 90s or even the 2000s.
Yeah, that's true.
When they had the episode where they were allowed to say shit, I remember that being a big thing. And they they had the counter where it went like 100 times them saying shit in the episode.
I remember that. That was such a good use of using the word shit.
Oh yeah, getting Comedy Central to approve that or Viacom to approve that, and then just running with it. But did they say fuck now on the show?
No, unedited? I don't.
I think they bleep.
I don't think so.
I think you can do it on the app or something though, because there is unedited South Park. I know on South Park Studios it was unedited.
Yeah, and I bought back when DVDs were things that people bought. I have a couple South Park seasons of DVDs, and they curse in that one. Like, there's no bleeping.
So it's kind of like Rick and Morty then, how they have it like online or after the fact where they go unedited. But when you watch
FX, on some of their other channels after 10 o'clock, I think they're allowed to say fuck.
Yeah, FX can pretty much do whatever it wants.
Yeah. They push
on Sunny and all their other comedies and dramas. They have no problem throwing down F-bombs or whatnot. But yeah, I agree with you, JP, that was probably one of the reasons why they went with a movie so quickly, was to just go all out and do what they wanted to. And yeah, they probably didn't. Trey and Matt probably did not think they'd be running the show almost as long as The Simpsons. I mean, if The Simpsons ever ends, you'll have a chance to catch up, but the two of them combined have gone 50 plus seasons.
I always forget that The Simpsons is still on.
It's like, does anyone still watch that?
Apparently.
Probably. Yeah.
Even The Simpsons, they had their movie 14 years ago. Like,
yeah.
It's when the movie came out, the show had only been on like for almost half its run. It's crazy to think it's been so long even since that movie, because it felt like forever before the actual movie dropped.
Mm-hmm.
They're just like, all right, this show's never going to end. We got to just do the movie now. But any memories about the South Park movie? I mean, we were all pretty young when we first saw it for the first time. Anything that you particularly enjoyed about it?
I think it foreshadowed that they were going to be really great at making musicals by how good all those songs were.
Yeah, that soundtrack was phenomenal.
Yeah, Kyle's mom's a bitch being a standout.
I'm a personal fan of Uncle Fucker. That's
Uncle Fucker is a good one too.
Yeah.
Satan's Ballad is a good one.
Corey's always loves Satan's Ballad.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
And Kyle's mom's a bitch was like a reprise from the TV show, right? And they already had done it at that point, I believe.
I think they.
But then they did it like a really long like version of it in the film.
So.
He does like the number at the end where they're like Rockettes and
but I'd have to agree with you guys. The musical aspect is probably my favorite part, and totally foreshadowed like Book of Mormon and things like that from them.
I don't think I'd want a South Park movie that's not a musical at this point. If they did another one, I think it would have to be a musical.
It's got to be a musical.
Mind.
Yeah, I'm surprised they have at this point. I am surprised that they haven't done a sequel musical.
It's really Book of Mormon's the sequel to South Park Bigger, Longer, and Uncut. It's a sequel to the Mormon episode of South Park, which was a great musical in its own little half an hour block. But then
dum.
So good.
I still need to see Book of Mormon.
They've dealt with Mormons a lot in their career. I'm pretty sure in that movie Orgasmo, like
I think he was a Mormon.
Yeah, it starts as like a Mormon like related thing.
Interesting.
I
think I've only seen that once.
I guess it's from where they grew up in Colorado. There's a bunch in the region. I mean, it's not too far away from Nevada and Salt Lake City.
Probably, yeah. We probably get the knock on the door on Saturday afternoons.
Hello. All right, but yeah, we will get more into movies or TV shows to movies later on in the program. But stay tuned and make sure to let us know which ones you would like to see or any of your favorites so far. Welcome to Live, Breathe, Film, episode 33. You're here with Corey, Doug, JP, and Murph. Thanks as always for joining us. Before we get into our main topic for today, let's just run through some news and what we watched over this past week. All right, guys. As far as news goes, Disney dropped a couple bombshells this week. The first being that they are closing their Blue Sky animation studios that they acquired from Fox. So this is the second wing or second division of 20th Century Fox Studios that has been shut down since Disney acquired it, which is kind of a bummer. But in the case of Blue Sky, does Disney really need 3 animation studios? Probably not. They already have the 2 biggest in Disney and Pixar. But it's kind of just significant in the fact that it was the studio that made Ice Age, among others, Horton Hears a Who, among other
Rio 1 and 2.
All those squirrel movies.
Those are their 2 franchises. The Peanuts movie,
their claims to
Spies in Disguise, a bunch of random things, robots.
It's like a couple of movies. I pulled up their movies just because I was like, what else do they have except for Ice Age? And it's basically like a ton of Ice Age movies, and then sprinkled in like one-offs.
Yeah, they did not have any other big franchises.
They did more than
Ice Age.
They did more than 3 Ice Age movies.
I think they did 5 movies.
What?
And then all the spin-offs too. Didn't they have little shorts that were just the
They had tons of
and like
dude, and those movies were massive, like internationally.
Ice Age
looks like
phenomenal.
Yeah, first one's good.
Yeah, the first one was good. I mean, they assembled a great cast with John Leguizamo, Ray Romano, and Dennis Leary, and then just kept on bringing on big names afterwards.
Like Queen Latifah was in the second one, right?
Yeah, I think she got added on. It's kind of like the Shrek movies; they just added on more names as it went along. It's like, okay, here's Antonio Banderas, Justin Timberlake, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, it sucks to see all these people lose their jobs. Hopefully, they will get to be employees of Pixar or Disney. I know they're going to try to retain as many people as possible. They were working on a film now that was supposed to be coming out next year. They just shuttered it completely.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, they still had, I guess, like, I don't know, 40% to go or something, and they just dropped it.
Do we
That's
think
scary.
Ice Age is going to cross over into the Pixar verse?
I mean, Ice Age isn't dead because I think there's a show coming to Disney Plus. That's already in the works,
Yeah.
but I'm not exactly sure who's going to be running that. But yes, they will not let Ice Age die. They can figure out a way to throw it into Animal Kingdom. It can be by Everest. They'll make a way to figure out a way to make it work or something like that.
Make a ride with the squirrel.
Throw it by Matterhorn in Disneyland. We got ideas, Disney. Talk to us.
Yeah.
We could be Imagineers. But then the other news that they dropped, which was a pretty big bombshell, was Gina Carano being fired, technically from Lucasfilm. But since Lucasfilm's part of Disney, we'll assume that they were part of the decision making. So yeah, she's not going to get her own TV show anymore, which was definitely going to happen, and I think it likely was not announced at that investor day because of things going on behind the scenes. But yeah, obviously she will not be a Mandalorian or anything else anymore. Any thoughts on this? You bummed not to see this character anymore? Similar to, do you think it's a bullshit thing to happen like James Gunn? Do you think it's more of a smart business decision? What are you guys thinking? Ultimately, it's a business, so.
Yeah, I'm not thrilled with it. I think there's a little bit of when you really look into it, I think there's a little bit of a bias going on. Like, yeah, she said some really stupid things, but there are other people that star in those shows who have said very similar things, but in a different sort of. I feel like she sort of proved her point by getting fired for trying to prove her point on the internet. Is it fair? No. It's a private business. They can do whatever they want. At the end of the day, I mean, it's kind of shitty, and it's kind of the world we're living in right now. But I think it stinks. I mean, I think she had a good character, and I think I was really looking forward to seeing more of it. And I don't know if they're going to try and recast her and do like a different thing, but
yeah, that'll be interesting. Didn't they
maybe they'll just bring Ronda Rousey in.
Oh God, no! Please, no!
She's a horrendous actress. God.
She'll be the same character and everything. They'll just like pretend like nothing happened.
Oh no,
that would be.
And then she'll get fired for doing something similar.
Yeah, she'll get fired for performance.
Did Disney, was she like warned? Because
I mean, not publicly, but I would have to imagine there's been conversations.
Okay, because I didn't really look too far into this. I just remember seeing like the last couple tweets that she said. So I didn't know if this was going on for a while, and she just continued to, I guess, ignore whatever Disney was saying to her.
From what I saw, they specifically said it was the last tweet that she made.
Oh. Okay.
That's kind of what I'm going off of, which I think is a little crazy, but I mean, it is what it is.
Are you guys bummed the character won't be on anymore? Did you have an affinity for this character?
Yeah.
Did you want to see her get her own show?
I like that she was proven that like MMA fighters aren't all really fucking terrible actors and actresses. It's nice to see someone come from something that's not acting, and I mean, she wasn't like award winning or anything like that, but she was a serviceable actress for what she was doing.
Yeah, and I would say she improved a lot as an actress over the years. And remember Deadpool? She didn't even get like a line.
Yeah,
she was just like the heavy that was just standing in the background, like
she
punching
was in Fast
Wade.
and Furious too.
Yeah,
the same exact deal.
And Ronda Rousey was in Fast and Furious too. But yeah, she had a really good fight with Michelle Rodriguez in Fast and Furious 6.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
But I don't know. Well, I wonder who's going to star in this Rangers of the New Republic show now. Bill Burr. Maybe he'll just become a Ranger and run the thing by himself.
I kind of
don't
don't want Bill Burr without her at this point, you know?
Yeah.
Bill
I
I
did
think
Burr,
he
see-
needs someone to feed off of.
Bill Burr and
Mhm.
Carl Weathers.
Which is actually, if you think about it, if Bill Burr gets to run this show and she gets fired for a tweet, what fucking world are we living in? Because Bill Burr just says shit to piss people off all the time.
Yeah. Social media just causes lots of trouble. I feel like this wouldn't have happened back in the day because people didn't have like the easy outlets to say anything, whether
Yeah.
it's on any side.
And people weren't just
Whether
so
it's James Gunn
fucking
telling
angry,
stupid
you know?
jokes like that are unearthed decade later, or
Yeah.
someone saying something right then and there. I don't know.
It's just everyone's got such a fucking vendetta. And
Yeah,
they
people
have all
like
the
being
power in the
people
world.
like being angry,
Yeah.
and they like getting people in trouble.
Cancel culture
Um,
for you.
It's society in 2021, and for a while now. But
Hopefully
yeah,
we don't see a ton more of that.
Hmm.
yeah, we will see how things go. But in the world of Star Wars, well, adjacent to Mandalorian, we got the news that Pedro Pascal is going to be headlining The Last of Us television series on HBO, where will be playing Joel and will essentially be playing Mando, just without the mask, since he will be taking a young girl, on a journey across the country because she is his cargo, and he has to get her there safely. It's just going to be an extremely R-rated version of Mandalorian, with infected people versus random aliens. Guys, Jay, or particularly Corey and Doug, since you've played the Last of Us games, what do you think of this casting?
I don't like it.
You don't like it?
No, I'm not a fan. I don't know. Pedro is not Joel to me. Joel is like a rough and tumble kind of guy, and I just haven't seen Pedro Pascal like really. The closest thing we've gotten to him being that character, I guess, would be the Mandalorian. But he doesn't really like talk in the Mandalorian, so
Alright,
I don't know.
guess
I'm not.
Kingsman 2, he was kind of supposed to be like a cowboy type guy.
That's
I
like
mean,
jokey cowboy.
Yeah, I mean, it's a Kingsman movie. But yes, I see what you're saying.
I don't know. I just haven't seen him. I don't know. I've never seen him be able to grow a Joel beard, so I'm not convinced he can pull one off.
Yeah, you better not have that mustache. And
You got a wispy ass mustache.
that was the word I was thinking of. I didn't want to.
So
But yeah,
It's true.
I don't know if he can grow a Joel beard. And then the girl from Game of Thrones, I don't know. She like seems too old to me.
Yeah, Bella Ramsey.
This is my biggest gripe with that.
Lady
I
Mormont.
don't know what her age
from
is.
Game of Thrones. So it's a Game of Thrones reunion,
Maybe-
although I don't think they ever shared a scene.
See, for
But maybe
me-
if she was
No, go
like
ahead.
in Game of Thrones day, I would be more okay with her casting. But I think she's a little too old now.
Yeah.
How old is she? She's got to still be pretty young.
15?
She's 17.
Oh, wow.
Okay. I mean, a lot of people were like recommending like 20-something-year-olds to play this part.
Mm-hmm.
How old's this?
I know, but Ellie's young,
I believe
right?
I believe she's 15 in the first one.
Yeah.
And 20 in the second one.
I mean, I watched Princess Diaries over the weekend. Anne Hathaway was 18. She played a 15-year-old. And that's one of the best movies of all time, I think. Maybe.
So JP
Like
is
the
saying
fans
this
say.
could work.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm on board. I think it could work. I do agree with Doug. I have a little bit of a hard time seeing Pedro Pascal as Joel, but I think he has the acting chops to do it. So it'll be interesting to see if he can actually accomplish it. And the actress who played Bella Ramsey, I mean, I thought she was fantastic. So I think she could also, really nailed that character. I also keep thinking about, the creator of Last of Us. I'm sure he had a hand in, since he's the showrunner and writing the show. He had a hand in casting.
He's
Neil
just a
Druckmann.
I think he's just a producer. I believe Craig Mazin's the showrunner.
So I imagine he had a hand in casting to an extent. So
Yeah, for sure.
it's his baby. So I definitely think that they'll be able to do it. It'll be interesting to see, how they actually take it. If it's like a direct copy of the game story wise, which it seems like it is, but they haven't said too much. But it'll definitely be it'll be cool to see what they can do.
All right. Yeah, and I mean, Pedro Pascal wouldn't be my pick, but I think he'll be good. I would have. We've talked about it before. Like someone like grizzled, a little bit older, like Hugh Jackman, like in Logan, would have been like an awesome type pick.
He's busy doing musicals.
Yeah, he's got his own shit going on. But I mean, Pedro Pascal's a busy dude too. He's got Mando. He also was just cast in Judd Apatow's latest film. It's going to be debuting on Netflix, called The Bubble. So he's very much in demand right now. That one's got quite a cast.
Yeah, it's another Netflix show with a ridiculous cast.
Right? You want to run through, JP, who's in this?
Yeah, I definitely can do that if I pull up the thing.
I'm just let myself breathe for a bit.
Yeah, so they got Karen Gillan in it, Leslie Mann, obviously, because it's a Judd Apatow movie with Iris Apatow. Is that the younger or is that the older?
Yeah, that's the younger one. He's graduated to his younger daughter being in his movies now.
Wow.
Maria Bakalova. Don't know who that
From
is.
Borat.
Oh shit! Good for her. She was fucking great in that. Yeah, Fred Armisen, which should be good. David Duchovny out of fucking nowhere. Let's go. Keegan Michael Key and Peter Serafinowicz. That's Pete.
Yep, Pete from Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah, it's another Netflix show that just has a ridiculous cast. Good for them. They're going all out. It seems like they almost killed what's her face last weekend or something like that. Jennifer Lawrence almost got murdered by a flying glass.
I saw that.
Oh, what?
Wait, what
when
happened?
You have a cast that big, you can lose one, and it's still pretty good too.
You can lose your headliner, and you still have a million other people.
She's fine. She went to the hospital. She was in a stunt scene or something like that where there was some broken glass and it hit her, and she had to go to the hospital. She was discharged, I think, the same day.
I didn't even hear about that.
There.
Yeah, and that movie just keeps adding people. They added this past week to that one Mark Rylance and Michael Chiklis. Yeah. So they just keep bringing on
stacked.
Yeah, exactly.
That's pretty awesome. I mean, it's neat to, I guess you have a casting director that's still actively working as you're filming the show or the movie. That's pretty cool. It's got to be a fun situation for them.
But yeah, other than that, over the weekend, we got a pretty big television announcement that came as a pretty big surprise. We're getting a Mr. and Mrs. Smith series on Amazon that'll be coming in 2022, created and starring Donald Glover and Phoebe Waller-Bridge. So we are getting the stars of Atlanta and Fleabag, co-stars from Solo, a Star Wars movie or story, headlining a new version of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, the Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie movie back from 2005. I believe they previously tried to do a adaptation of this that filmed a pilot. The people in it are escaping me right now. But this one with these names will actually happen. It's going to be the showrunner is going to be a writer on Atlanta or someone involved in Atlanta. So it's very much a Donald Glover project. Thoughts on this one?
I know you're hyped. They don't seem like the right choice for an action comedy TV show to me at all.
Yeah. I kind of feel the same. So I like them writing it. I don't know if I like them starring in it. So I think they're I think they both can do a really good job. I mean, Phoebe Waller-Bridge with Killing Eve, I feel like she's already kind of proven she can do kind of like the comedy, action, writing. And then I haven't seen Atlanta, but I've heard good things about it. So I would imagine the writing's there. I just don't know how I don't know. I don't see we haven't seen these two together, right? So I don't know how the chemistry is. I don't know if I see them.
Well, we saw them as a robot and Lando Calrissian in Solo.
That's a good measure.
Let's get these two on screen together as Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I think the writing's going to be there. I'm just not sure on the acting part. If like I see those two as like a Mr. and Mrs. Smith role, like that action-y.
Yeah,
type of role.
I didn't really like the original movie to begin with. So this is one of those cases where, for me, hopefully they get it right on the second try. Can only go up. Like, it was fine. But yeah, I mean, these two just alone have me on board to watching this show. But anything could happen. Maybe it won't end up happening. There's been shows in the past that Amazon have claimed that would come out and never did. There was one with Danny DeVito and Jeff Goldblum that were supposed to be done.
Wow.
And that
I feel robbed now.
Yeah. That was like 4 years ago that it was announced, or 3 years ago, and nothing has come of it. And that just sounded awesome. But
I think with this kind of star power behind it, I mean, at least star power in terms of like they're both pretty hot right now. I think it'll probably get made.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's got 2 seasons of Atlanta to film back to back this year. She eventually has No Time to Die coming out, which she co-wrote. But
I really hope she's not still writing it.
They're like, fuck it, we got extra time. Let's make some changes. Let's tweak it.
It probably wouldn't be the weirdest thing that's happened over the past year.
No, it wouldn't. Daniel Craig goes, oh, by the way, I think I'm going to return for another one. We're going to have to change that ending.
It's like I'm feeling another one.
I'm gonna come back for a different cut of this movie.
And then speaking of different cuts, that was a beautiful segue, JP. We've got the final trailer, or I'm gonna say it's the final trailer. I don't think we're getting another one.
I think
in the next few.
Another one.
You think we're gonna get another one?
I think we're gonna get another one.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, we have the officially titled Zack Snyder's Justice League coming out March 18th on HBO Max, and we got a 2.5-minute trailer that debuted over the weekend on Valentine's Day. I don't remember enough of the movie to tell what's new and different, so you're gonna have to tell me, guys.
I
think everything was new and different.
I mean, Jared Leto was definitely new.
Black suit soups.
Yes, that was new. And that was shown like before the original movie came out, right?
Yeah, they just never.
Yeah, they just like colored this. They just like CGI'd the suit black.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Yeah, the suit filmed is blue and red. Mm-hmm. They just Zack Snyder wanted to make it black. Just cool. I mean, the scene with him shooting laser beams out of his eyes certainly looks better than any other time he's previously done laser beams.
He's shooting freaking laser beams out of his head.
There's definitely in the trailer I noticed that the shots from the fight at the end were in there repurposed, and there's definitely, it looks like there's going to be like little things that are going to be the little things that
HBO Max.
Yeah. That are just going to be repurposed, like shots of like Amy Adams. Like, I think that it's going to be a lot of new stuff, but you're going to see like bits and pieces of the old film just like shuffled around. Obviously, I would imagine stuff that he filmed and not Joss Whedon. So,
well, yeah, it's still going to be the same movie.
Joss Whedon's excommunicado from Hollywood right now.
Is he? Has it been official yet? Has it been canceled yet?
He did have to drop out of an HBO show like months ago, but
that way.
The entire like cast of Buffy and Angel have had to speak about him over the past few days.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's gonna happen with him.
Yeah, I haven't read too much about it. It just sounds like he's a dick.
Yeah, no, he's.
I mean, I've had plenty of.
He just sounds like a major asshole.
And none of them
Um,
get fired. Like, I just go, I fucking hate my job, but
Did you guys notice that? Did you think the special effects looked better, or the same, or worse?
I thought they looked better.
except
I mean,
for
it's not a high
Cyborg.
bar. Yeah. Well, Cyborg
Cyborg's
just
fucking
looks,
horrible.
but he was horrible in the original one too.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he just like looks equally horrible. I mean, Steppenwolf we knew looks better.
Yeah.
But I still think he looks worlds better than what he did.
Yeah.
Before he
fight
looked like
scene.
he looked like a PlayStation 2 CGI villain in the first movie. This one he still looks very CGI, but it looks like
Better.
maybe a PS5.
Yeah.
He looks imposing. He looks like a monster.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which is the
And
point.
when he's picking up Amazons on horseback and flinging them across like an open prairie, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, that was cool. Did you guys catch the I'm sure you did because the internet helped catch it, but the tank from the Dark Knight Returns?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Batman's like just standing on top of it.
Yeah, he
in the one
he
shot?
posted a high definition picture of it on his Vivo.
Oh, he did?
Whatever the fuck he uses. Yeah, it's beautiful looking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it looks really cool. I mean, I'm sure it's not going to be like in it a ton, but it looks cool.
when Batman's wearing that trench coat and shit, got goggles. Is that a dream?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
the
the
nice-
nightmare.
See, I really don't remember anything.
Yeah, I think that's from Batman vs Superman.
Okay, so it's
Yeah,
a
they
return
didn't
to
really
that.
do it.
Okay.
Yeah, they didn't really do it in
So-
the new one.
Because
That's
he was
the
starting to
world
have those
post-
dreams back in Batman vs Superman.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the
yeah.
world post Darkseid and post Superman becoming evil and all
Mhm.
that shit.
Gotcha.
We live in a society, gamers rise up and shit like that. So yeah,
And they take over.
they do. Yeah, because they got the Joker,
And, yeah.
There you go.
who looks
Jared
worlds
Leto.
better.
Jared Leto.
Yeah, he looks
Yeah.
better. He sounds a lot better too. I thought his voice
Yeah.
sounded a lot better than he did in Suicide Squad.
No honka hunkas yet.
No hunka
Not
hunka.
yet.
I'm waiting for it though.
What
No-
what do
no
you guys
more-
think about? Sorry, go ahead, Corey.
No, I was just gonna say no more damaged tattoos. They got them removed.
Yeah, tattoo removals in the post-apocalyptic world. I like that. Maybe they were just temporary
Yeah.
the whole time.
He bought
Some
them.
temporary tats that he got
He bought
in a
them
fucking
online.
he got in like one of those machines you spin for a quarter and
What a quarter.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
What
we
about you,
will.
Doug?
I was just gonna say like the only thing that I really don't like about this movie is the aspect ratio. I think is a poor choice.
Didn't.
It's
bother
like a
me at all.
It's like a 4:3 aspect ratio, so it's basically gonna look like WandaVision did in the first couple of episodes.
I think it's smaller
Where-
than that.
I don't think it's smaller than that. I
It-
think it's around.
So
that.
it's designed for tube TVs.
Yeah,
It looks
like
fantastic if you got a tube.
I'm gonna have to dig
Or
that out.
holding your cell phone up vertically on YouTube or any streaming app. That's what I think it's really geared towards, people that are going to be watching on their damn phone.
Well, they
Why
filmed
would
it for
these
IMAX.
Snyder fans have been waiting for this movie for years? Why would they watch it on a phone?
I don't know, but why it's such a weird decision. It makes
It's
no
what they
sense to
had-
me.
It's what Zack Snyder originally filmed it on, and it's because IMAX they cut out off the sides a lot and they go with the taller screen, but no one's seeing it in IMAX, so it's like, why are we still stuck with this? I don't know.
It's silly.
It's a gripe. It's gonna annoy me. I'm just gonna be pissed off the entire time I watch it with the fucking bars coming
What
down
is
on
it?
the
You
side.
go into your TV and change the aspect ratio where it forces zoom.
Hell yeah, dude.
Well, at least
Doug,
you got.
I think you getting a 4K TV was the worst thing that's
I
ever
know.
happened to you. Like,
At
I
least
don't
you
think
got
you're
a
enjoying
Fire
watching
Stick.
movies anymore, man.
At least you got your
I-
Fire Stick so you can watch it in crystal clear picture.
Yeah,
can-
it'll look
if you
like a
can see
crystal
it.
clear movie from the year 2005 or
can
whenever
see it
we were
in
still doing full screen
Upscale
movies.
4K, dude.
mode.
So,
Well, March
all right.
18th, you can judge it in full.
We're so close.
screen.
It's the end
Full
of the
screen.
world.
Good one, Doug. That was a good one. All right, let's go into what we watched. We got a mix of movies and TV shows.
Fuck, I watched.
Yeah, JP, you always got your random pick of the week from Netflix.
I
or
live a strange life. Interesting.
And but Corey, I believe you have a TV show, so why don't you kick us off?
Yeah. I jumped into Action Bronson's like cooking, just traveling around the world show. Fuck, that's delicious. I've watched a couple episodes here and there. But I just decided to like jump into it over the weekend, and it's fun. It's a really good show. It reminds me a lot of Anthony Bourdain's No Reservations. It's kind of like that. He goes to different parts of either the United States, different parts of the world, checks out like spots in the culture, and talks to different people, and then eats a lot of different types of food. And I never realized, like, I mean, he's a very very unique individual, but also like very intelligent. Like he's a cook. He just has a lot of cool like different views on a lot of things. And he brings along like his three friends that are just like out of control as well. And it's just a fun show. I mean, if you want like something kind of mindless to watch, that's funny, and you get to see really well shot segments of different parts of the world. Goes to Jamaica, Amsterdam, Paris. Yeah, and it's pretty informative and definitely a lot of fun.
This premieres on Vice, right? This is a Vice show.
Yeah, it's been on for a long time too. I think since 2016. I don't know if it's still on now. I feel like it is. But the first season that I'm currently watching is from 2016, I believe. So, but yeah, I mean, he travels like all over the place, and like some of the food that they eat is pretty interesting.
I'll bet.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a fun mindless watch if you like food and like travel shows. Those are kind of like my like Vice, I guess. I like those a lot.
Pun.
Because it's on Vice.
Not
It
intended.
ended in July of 2020, Corey. So no
What's
more accident.
Oh,
it
it
ended in
ended?
July of 2020. Yeah, no more Action Bronson, unfortunately.
He's a funny guy.
Maybe Scorsese was a fan, and that was why he was in The Irishman.
It's possible.
Yeah, maybe.
It's possible. His music not my thing, but he's a funny guy. He's fun to watch. So, it's on Hulu.
Cool.
All right, Doug, you finally caught up on Freaky. All four of us have seen it, and from our text message chain, it looks like we are perfectly split down the middle between hating it and loving it.
Are we?
Unless you lied to us. What are your? Let's hear
I
your
just don't
thoughts.
remember what everybody's reaction, what everyone's thoughts were. Yeah, so Freaky finally hit the sweet spot for me and price to rent at $5.99 or whatever it was. Not that $20 bullshit that they were looking for before. Yeah, so I don't know. $5.99 still kind of felt like a lot after watching this movie. I just didn't like it. My wife Julia and I were sitting down to watch Freaky, just to kind of like watch something mindless, and it opens with like two pretty horrific death scenes.
Yeah.
And Julia was immediately like, I can't watch this, and like left, and so I'm like stuck watching it by myself.
If she had listened to Live Breathe Film, she would have known this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would have been warned.
$5.99. So I wasn't going anywhere. I was going to watch it all the way through, and that's pretty much like the most that happens in them. I mean, like there are some deaths here and there, but those are like, to me, the most horrific deaths of the movie.
Yeah,
The table
mainly
saw
the
one
kid
was
with
pretty
bottle.
bad.
yeah, the table saw one's
Yeah.
bad also.
With who was that actor?
Alan
Can't-
Ruck.
Yes.
And I thought the girl who I don't know her name, like she was fine. I found her performance like, or maybe it was the character. She just wasn't very memorable to me or very interesting.
Millie.
Or Millie. And then
Catherine Newton.
I thought the best performance was, and I think we've talked about this before, but Vince Vaughn, I thought did a good job. I thought back to Jumanji and when Jack Black plays the girl character, and how much more I liked Vince Vaughn's performance than Jack Black, because it was like a lot more subtle. It like felt like a real person, and like Jack Black kind of felt like more of like an impersonation of a Valley Girl. So I give a lot of credit to Vince Vaughn, and I thought he did a really good job playing a girl. But I was just kind of like bored by this movie. I just wasn't.
Really?
So you'd prefer to see Happy Death Day 3 over Freaky 2?
I would take Happy Death Day any day of the week over this movie. Happy Death Day is a lot more interesting of a movie. There wasn't enough going on. I think the story wasn't interesting enough. It was very much Freaky Friday, right? We switched places and now we got to switch back. And
yeah,
not interesting hijinks ensue. So yeah, I don't know. I was just kind of bored by it.
Without Vince
I don't know who I align with.
Yeah,
I guess JP was the other one that hated it.
I didn't hate it. It's just without Vince Vaughn, it's an awful movie.
It's just a dumb Friday the 13th slasher.
Yeah.
But what's weird though is how much fun I had with Happy Death Day versus this. I don't know what the difference is, if it's the actress or.
Yeah, I mean, Jessica Roloff was huge in how good Happy Death Day was, and yeah, the Groundhog Day formula. Obviously, we clearly like that formula. We've talked about how every version of it we've enjoyed pretty much.
And there's more humor in the Happy Death Day movies. It's compelling to watch because it's not just going to be like a murder and then it's going to switch scenes to something different. You know, there's comedy. And when you think someone's about to die, it's not necessarily about them dying, but just finding the irony or the humor in them dying. And yeah, Freaky it could have been a lot funnier, I guess, but I don't know.
The director, he's next doing a reboot of Paranormal Activity. He's gonna be writing the script to that. He wrote a couple of the original series.
Getting a reboot to that already? God.
Oh yeah, we do reboots fast nowadays. We do reboots of reboots. But hopefully, eventually, Universal, Blumhouse, let them do Happy Death Day to us. All right, JP, what do you got?
I watched another crime documentary. This one's a little less frightening and not nightmare-inducing. I watched Cecil Hotel on Netflix, which was released, I think, last week or maybe the week before that. It's fairly recently. It's new. It talks about the story of Elisa Lam, who was a Canadian 21-year-old that came to Los Angeles, disappeared. They ended up finding her in this hotel that she was staying at in one of the water vats on the roof. And just all of the different theories that people had about it. And it dives into a lot of the online YouTubers that flocked to this story and made channels just revolving around this and how they really have no fucking idea what they're talking about. That was kind of the gist of what I got from this documentary, is that people on the internet that speculate about crime cases are fucking stupid and ruin investigations and will actually end up turning on people and ruining their lives. It's 4 episodes. It's cool. It's an interesting story. I kind of remember it happening. I think this happened in 2013, if I'm not mistaken. I remember reading about it. People bathed in the water that was coming out of those tanks. Yeah.
Ew.
They interview 2 people throughout the whole thing, and you wonder, well, why the fuck are they interviewing these people? They just stayed at the hotel, and then you get that, oh, that's why sort of moment. Yeah, like I said, it's not a whole lot about murder or anything like that. It's a disappearance. It's still, I guess, technically unsolved, even though they they give a pretty they interview the police. They give a pretty convincing statement, past all the conspiracy theories that she was, that the cops are covering it up, that the hotel's covering it up, and all this other stuff. But the history of the hotel is pretty cool because it's in Skid Row in Los Angeles. It's in a really bad spot. The Night Stalker, Richard Ramirez, who I watched the documentary of like a couple weeks ago,
right?
yeah, he actually lived there in the hotel. There was a lot of transients that lived in that hotel, like people just moving around and
Oh, this is like it's by Skid Row, right?
yeah, it's right in the middle of Skid Row. And it's funny because they rebranded the hotel as something different. So the Cecil Hotel is well known as being a shithole, and they rebranded it to be Stay on Main, which catered towards young travelers from different countries that would come to Los Angeles that didn't know they were staying in basically like homeless haven.
Right next to Squalor.
Yeah. So a lot of people got tricked into staying in this hotel and then realized that, and they painted as maybe she got in with the wrong people and got murdered, but I don't know. You'll have to watch it to see all the different crazy theories about it.
Yeah, I heard this one was a good one.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. It's definitely compelling for 4 episodes. If it was any longer, then probably wouldn't have watched it, or at least not finished it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Are you do you choose these ones, or does your wife choose these?
Mostly my wife, but we do watch a lot of. So we listen to, like, whenever we're in the car for a long period of time, we listen to the last podcast on the left. They do serial killers, disappearances, all sorts of stuff like that. So we definitely like sort of the true crime stuff. I
Mhm.
just don't like it when it gets real and it's just some guy randomly breaking into houses and murdering people.
Yeah.
That makes me not want to sleep at night. But
Exactly.
yeah. But yeah, I like the true crime stuff. I like watching stupid people that aren't detectives try and figure out cases and be completely wrong. I find it funny.
Cool. All right, and we'll get into my pick, which falls in line with the topic of today. It was El Camino, a Breaking Bad movie. So this came out back in 2019 on Netflix, so you can watch it there. I watched it on Blu-ray. I got that for Christmas, so I watched the movie and all the special features this weekend. Had some good deleted scenes, by the way. But yeah, the movie works a lot better without the hype and anticipation of watching the sequel to Breaking Bad and waiting 6 years for it. When you know what you're getting, this movie works a hell of a lot better. It has that slow, methodical pace of a lot of the Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul episodes. Only so much plot is actually taking place. I mean, it's 2 hours of just watching Jesse Pinkman try to escape Albuquerque with a hell of a lot of flashbacks, which I think the flashbacks play a huge purpose because those last few episodes of Breaking Bad really did not focus much on Jesse. It really put the spotlight on Walt, and you only just got a few glimpses of just how badly Jesse's life had become, being kidnapped by these neo-Nazis who were forcing him to cook meth, and or they'll kill his ex-girlfriend's son. They already killed his ex-girlfriend. So yeah, I think it just works better without being like, oh, what the hell is going to happen and all this stuff. Vince Gilligan just has some fantastic shots. The scenery is some of the best that any of the Breaking Bad universe has done. The desert scenes, fantastic. But and all you guys I know have seen this movie. So I'm not telling you anything you haven't seen, but I'm guessing all of you have only watched it the one time.
Yeah, I need to revisit it.
Yeah.
True story. This movie came out the day before JP's wedding.
Yeah.
We were all like, Breaking Bad movie is out, and we can't watch it because we are going to be having a blast this weekend doing other stuff.
Yeah, I watched on my way to Hawaii on the plane. for my honeymoon.
Yeah, me, Corey, and Doug saw it at the Alamo Draft House the night after your wedding, which was pretty cool experience. Watching on an airplane on the way to Hawaii is even cooler though, because you
Pretty
get to go to Hawaii, and we just went back to New Jersey after leaving Yonkers, New York.
I kind of had to keep it hidden though, because I wasn't sure what they were going to show, since it was kind of Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
So I wasn't sure if it was going to get really fucked up, if some little kid behind me is going to poke through my seat and see some
It's
horrible
really
things.
not brutal though.
No, it's very tame.
Yeah, like it's not bad at all. There's some murders, but like it's gunshots.
Do I know what awkward?
What's that?
Like a side tangent. Really awkward movie that I watched on the plane, or to watch on a plane, was it Booksmart?
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, it gets to one scene in particular, and
how did you watch it?
What do you mean? How did I watch it?
Like, was it a rental on the airplane, or was it?
Wow.
I was
on the airplane.
I remember there was a big stink about it when it came out that it was edited on an airplane, and they're like, "What the hell? Like, if this was like straight people doing this, it wouldn't be edited, but because it's two girls, like it was edited." I guess your airline went all in.
They did not edit it.
Okay.
And I was on like the aisle seat, so like everyone could see.
That's really
pretty funny.
So I have had airlines edit movies before. I watched, I think X3. There was that plane fight where their plane gets shot down, and they cut that whole fucking scene out of the movie.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because they do different cuts for airplanes, similar to like how they do different cuts for network TV or cable or whatever the guidelines are. That's funny though. I wouldn't want to watch that movie in public.
No.
What airline is this, Doug, that doesn't censor their movies?
I honestly don't remember if it was like a JetBlue or Delta. Probably one of those two. Those are usually what I fly.
Yeah, I think it was Olivia Wilde who was like, "This is bullshit," because she directed the movie. All right.
Yeah. I guess I probably would have appreciated if it was edited. just for like other people. Like, what the hell is this guy? What porno is this guy watching?
This pervert's in front of us. Can't control himself for 2 hours. All right. But that's enough of El Camino and side tangents about airplane movies. Let's move on to a couple things that we all watched over this past week, or most of us watched. First up is Judas and the Black Messiah, which debuted in theaters and HBO Max this past Friday. I believe Corey, Doug, and myself have watched this. So we'll get into it. JP, tell us if we should avoid spoilers. I mean, it's a true story, so we really can't get. There's spoilers don't really matter.
Yeah.
I don't think we need to really like talk too much about, unless you really want to talk about the ending. That's the only part that I think is.
The only part that blew my mind was not even the ending of the movie, but what comes up on the screen, like what happens after the fact.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was the part that I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
I had no idea about that. But this movie works. What I want to say is this movie works super well as like a double feature with Trial of Chicago 7. I don't know if you agree, Doug, but there's a lot of overlap in characters, plot,
really,
and things like that.
I like this better than the Trial of Chicago 7, and I'm not. I just really like this movie. I thought was it Chaka King? I remember, and I thought they did a great job with directing this movie.
Yeah, I never heard of them until this.
I didn't either. I remember we talked about this. This was one of the ones that we put on. I think I had it on my list, and you did too, Murph, right? One of our most anticipated movies of 2021. And I remember we were talking about Chaka King, and I don't think their filmography was very impressive, but
I said it was a fucking girl. I had no idea.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, Shaka Khan. And then after the fact, I looked it up. I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah, I looked at his
Don't assume
filmography.
anything, you moron. But yes, it's a man, and he did a fantastic job.
Yeah, I thought it was very well directed. I thought there were some really great like shots, like really good camera shot choices. The scene that they showed in the trailer with the God, what is it that he says? It's like right when he gets out of prison. It's when he gives the big
the
speech.
revolution.
we
Yeah.
are the revolutionaries.
Speech. We are the revolutionary. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or no, we are the revolution.
We are the
But, like-
revolutionaries.
we're butchering the words.
I'm pretty sure it's revolutionaries, but
I am a
Okay.
revolutionary.
yeah.
It's as
Sure.
simple. Yeah, I think it's just
We
that.
are the
That's all
revolutionaries.
stuck with me. I don't remember the 3 words that were said over and over again, but that scene was in the trailer. But I thought it was like it looked like a super powerful, awesome scene. I thought it was a really, really well done scene.
Yeah, that was a standout scene for me.
They built up that scene really well, like in the movie too. Like it built up like perfectly, and you know his performance throughout was fantastic.
You're talking
Yeah,
about
Kaluuya killed it.
Yeah, Daniel Kaluuya.
I mean, Lakeith Stanfield was fantastic too. Jesse Plemons was great. I thought all 3 of them were very good, but Daniel Kaluuya was the standout.
One thing with Jesse Plemons, he's very difficult. Any movie that I see him in, he's very difficult for me to get Breaking Bad out of my head. Like I can't see.
Can't get Todd out of your
I
head.
cannot get Todd out of my head with him. Like he's a good actor, but just that role just sticks with me. So anytime I see him, I just see Todd. This movie, within like the first couple minutes of him playing this FBI agent, he did such a great job that I like completely forgot about that. And this is the first time that's ever happened. And I've seen him in a few movies at this point, other than Breaking Bad.
Yeah,
You
I mean,
wanna know
he's a great character actor, but
Yeah.
the fact that he's been on 3 TV shows like makes him more known. Like Friday Night
Yeah.
Lights,
I can't even put
Breaking Bad, Fargo.
I can't even put my finger.
I don't even
on-
look at him as a character actor because of those
Yeah.
3 TV shows.
I can't really
And
put
you
my
just saw-
finger on what exactly his performance, like what changed it for me, but it was just very unique, you know, especially the scenes with every scene with Lakeith Stanfield, like he just had like a different type of like eerie thing about him. Like he was very unsettling in a lot of ways.
It's tough to read. It was different than what I was expecting from the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
And J. Edgar Hoover, Martin Sheen is just
It was great.
always the biggest fucking asshole in the world.
Mhm.
I've seen him in so many movies and TV shows over the years, and he's just always a huge asshole.
Martin Sheen or Edgar Hoover?
I-
J. Edgar Hoover. Although I've yet to see Leo like do the performance, but I imagine it's more of the same.
I just hate like with the Hoover performances, they always just like it's always like a ton of makeup and
Yeah.
it like always distracts me when they're trying to do like a historical performance
I
because
didn't
I'm
think-
like that's just Martin Sheen and a ton of makeup.
Stephen Root did him well in All the Way, the LBJ one with Bryan Cranston, because Stephen
Okay.
Root really doesn't need to wear a ton of makeup. But
'Cause that was my
the
nitpick.
most recent one I'd seen of this of LBJ or of Hoover prior to this.
Saying. What do you guys think of the runtime? Because it's noticeably, to me at least, shorter than a lot of movies are these days. A lot of movies are at least 2.5 hours.
It was a
It was
solid,
a good
good
length.
paced 2-hour movie.
Yeah.
I didn't need it to be longer. I think it did what it needed to do. And
Yeah, I agree.
I'm a sucker for movies that deal with like people being like undercover and them being worried about being smoked out. Like it reminded me of Departed in certain ways, which coincidentally also had Martin Sheen in it
Donnie
as
Brasco,
a
kind of.
authority figure. Yeah, Donnie Brasco, exactly. But they're always so intense when them worrying about getting caught and people fucking interrogating them and stuff like that, like the scene in the car.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was a great scene. The overall pacing of the movie too was I was really shocked, because a lot of times those types of movies for me, at some point, it will kind of drag, even if it's only for a couple minutes, and I didn't feel that happened with this movie at all. I thought the pacing was pretty perfect.
I didn't expect him to get caught by like the FBI in like the first scene of the movie, and get
Yeah.
right into him having to join the Black Panthers. So yeah, they really went quick with everything.
Yeah. So
But yeah,
sounds like we all liked it, right? I mean, I thought it was
yeah,
great.
I'll catch it again later down the road. I watched it in 2 sittings. I was pretty tired when I watched the first half, so I'd like to watch it like straight through at some point before it leaves HBO Max, preferably, since we got, I guess, 20 something more days to watch it before it leaves that.
Yeah, I'll definitely check it out again myself.
It was good.
Yeah, we'll likely talk about it more as we get closer to Oscars and stuff like that. But as always, let's talk about WandaVision. Episode 6, the Halloween Spooktacular, aka the Malcolm in the Middle episode.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That caught me by surprise.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it to jump into the 2000s as quickly as it did.
Yeah.
It basically just skipped the 90s. But I love the switch to like the single camera sitcoms. I thought they did a great job with that, moving from what we were used to so far with dealing with multi-camera, being in front of an audience, etc., to just being a normal, what we think is normal sitcom approach. I mentioned to Corey I really like the flashback to Sokovia on Halloween. That was probably my favorite part of the show.
With the fish.
It reminded me of like a flashback. Like so many comedies nowadays do like those quick flashbacks. I just thought they did that perfectly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was funny.
Can we? I mean, how fantastic Evan Peters was. Like he was great in this episode. He was just having a lot of fun.
Did he always have that Jersey accent, or is he doing
No,
that just?
he did not.
Okay.
Well,
that was a new thing.
I watched the episode again, and there's like 2.
Don't say it. Don't you dare say his name.
Yeah.
Dare say his name.
No. I'm not talking about that now.
If you look close, we can see orange.
We will talk about it before we're done.
There's 2 points where I guess it was like a design choice that they were just playing around with, but he says some things in an accent and then goes back to the Jersey accent, but like the Sokovian accent, and then goes back. There's like a couple lines where he does it and I guess it's like an Easter egg. It's weird. I caught it the second time I watched it.
Did anyone catch the Aaron Johnson?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the kick-ass.
Kick-ass,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty great.
Yeah, I got a little giggle out of that. I explained it to my wife real quick, but yeah, it was funny. I like a good Halloween episode too. They captured all of like the great parts of a good Halloween episode. You got costumes, like the whole. I think we talked about this when we talked about Hubie Halloween too. I love the whole town trick or treating in the streets. It's my favorite.
Bet you guys didn't think we talked about Hubie Halloween again.
Hell yeah.
One of my favorite characters is the neighbor. I forgot his name. Who lives on the right side? Who was dressed as Frankenstein in this episode?
Herb, right?
That was really good makeup on Frankenstein.
I think it's Herb.
Too.
I just think like the scenes that he's in every episode are just so hilarious in like such an awkward way. He's becoming one of my favorites of the town.
I like that we got like an explanation of like what was going on with the kids.
Yep.
This whole time and why they're because all of a sudden there was like a ton of kids and I was like, where did all these kids come from? Why are all these kids around? And so I like that they kind of
was hiding them.
Oh
like,
no, you said it.
It's like Candyman. You can't say it 3 times.
Got to start the Mephisto count. And I said it. God damn it.
Evan Peters is self-aware in the show, so I'm telling you.
Self-aware.
So was Agatha, and when she got booped back into reality, she wasn't a weird witch.
Although when he booped Agatha, like Agnes, whatever her name is, it seemed like she wasn't that character. That she was just someone in the town, but she didn't really. There really wasn't that much of a conversation. But I was expecting her to say something. She didn't. So before she got put back into place.
Yeah, I don't know if they're trying to throw us off the sun or they're just like, yeah, she's not.
I mean, she's in the witch costume. I mean, like,
I think that was the payoff. I think that was the, get the fanboys going crazy and speculate and then being like, no.
Yeah.
Nope.
That's kind of what I thought it was. So, but Evan Peters, his character's getting more and more interesting for sure.
The one part where he turns into a corpse was
that was horrifying.
I would say a little far for a Marvel franchise.
Well, it was like the Vision,
the Vision corpse
from a few episodes ago.
Yeah, that was also pretty unsettling.
The Vision one got me. I was like, damn, I wasn't expecting that.
I think I must have missed that one.
So
go back. It's like post Infinity War, like him dead.
Yeah. And like pieces and shit, right?
Well,
and like he's standing up, he's got like the stone, like his head's all screwed up,
and his eyes are white, kind of like.
Yeah, it's pretty creepy looking.
So who do you think Kat Dennings has been, or not, was it Kat Dennings or Monica?
Kat Dennings is Darcy.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
I think she's Mephisto. Actually,
it was. I was trying to think about.
That's why they brought this character into the MCU, who was not part of any comic. It was really just a ploy for Mephisto.
The whole time.
They've been setting it up since 2011, since Phase 1.
Oh my god.
The breadcrumbs have been there all along.
Who do you guys think? It's Monica who keeps talking about, Monica Rambeau, who keeps talking about this character that she's trying to get in touch with to come to the site. But they haven't said who it is.
Don't give a shit.
I wonder who it is.
It seems like they're building towards
Strange.
A payoff. Doctor Strange.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
As an aerospace engineer.
What?
Doctor Strange makes complete sense. He's probably the only character that'll be able.
He's totally been an aerospace engineer this entire time.
I've been talking about him as an engineer this whole time.
Wait, what? What about aerospace?
She's literally been saying engineer this whole time when talking about that character.
Yeah.
Not magician.
Or doctor.
Or doctor.
Or medical.
But I mean, Corey, when you did text me about your speculation that he would be coming on the show, I was like, yeah, that makes sense because he's going to be involved with Wanda in Doctor Strange 2. So why not set it up now? Obviously, he's going to be in Spider-Man 3. He'll be dealing with the multiverse. But yes, they did mention that it was like some sort of space engineer.
Hulk, first banner.
That's an engineer in space.
So I think we speculated it could be like a Fantastic Four character, but I don't know if they already have casted them. And
I think it's just going to be someone that doesn't actually show up. I still think it's like empty fan service.
It's gonna be like Darcy's fucking brother.
Will be what's his name from Thor, the scientist.
They could do like
Skarsgård.
Oh god.
They could do like
Skarsgård.
I'm waiting for his return. He was a good character.
I forgot his name.
Stupid character, but Dr. Selig?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, but Skarsgård, right?
He died though, right?
No, man, he's alive.
No, he's alive.
He's thriving somewhere right now.
He escaped a mental hospital or an old man's home in Thor 2.
Yeah.
He was there with Stan Lee.
Although I don't know what he would be able to accomplish, but I mean,
he just talked about the Tesseract a lot.
Yeah.
He loves talking.
That was like his whole purpose.
I think one day we got to play the Avengers drinking game and drink every time they say Tesseract.
Probably
we
die.
watched it recently, and it's
a challenge.
They say that a lot.
I'm due for a rewatch of the first one, but
You're not allowed to. Excommunicado.
Oh yeah. Canceled. No more.
Oh right, because of Whedon.
So wait, so I can't watch I can't rewatch Buffy now? That's over
Fuck
with
no,
too?
dude.
You're not allowed to
Cancel.
watch. You're not allowed to watch Firefly. You're not allowed to watch Age of Ultron.
I already watched
Nothing.
it. I watched Age of Ultron over the weekend.
Oh,
Where do we
Jesus.
report him? Where's the website to report Corey?
Corey
I'm
is
going to tweet
flagged.
about this afterwards.
I don't have a Twitter, so joke's on you.
I can't wait for next week when we're like, "Welcome back to Live, Breathe, Film."
Corey's fired.
I get replaced. You guys replaced me with a lookalike, just someone else.
We have Evan Peters down there in the bottom left.
We've recasted Corey because he made the fatal mistake of watching the Joss Whedon feature. Yeah, but
that ending.
What else? The ending was cool.
It
Did you notice
expanded.
Darcy was going to throw an F-bomb down and then she says fudge when she moves into the other version?
No, I try and just ignore Kat Dennings the whole time.
No, I missed
that. Was kind of clever.
Yeah,
I missed it, but
I thought about how happy JP must be that the facility that he has been hated going to every episode is now like a circus.
So great.
That was great.
It matches the acting level of everyone involved in that outdoor area. A fucking circus. Oh man.
I did not expect that to happen. I was like, oh my God, this is getting way more complicated.
I liked the Beetlejuice moment when she's like, "Stop it! You're killing him!" When he was like trying to pull out, "Aren't you gonna put him back?"
Yeah. So do we think Vision's gonna be? Do we think Vision's gonna be alive after this? Like, so you think he's gonna be dead in the next? What do we got? 3 episodes left. 3 episodes. Yeah.
I can't imagine them killing him off. Yeah, I think he's gonna come back.
He needs an.
But it'd be like new version of Vision.
Yeah, I don't think.
But how do you do it without the Infinity Stone? Is it fueled by Wanda's like?
Well, they had said that he didn't need the Infinity Stone in Infinity War.
They just
they had to download him.
They just weren't allowed. They just couldn't let it be pulled out of them by fucking Thanos.
They need to like separate the connections in like the proper way or something like that. But never. Yeah, it just got yanked out. I just think he's too interesting of a character to kind of like. He's a robot. He can come back. It's just they'll have to figure.
He's got to cook more. He's got to cook more food with paprika.
Oh, Pepper Cash. But if he could have been brought back, then why didn't Tony Stark just bring him back? He had 5 whole fucking years to do it.
I guess he was too busy.
Tony was busy making babies.
Making babies. And
he made the one baby.
He was fucking upset.
He figured out time travel on the shitter overnight. So
and eating juice pops.
Like 7 hours of work tops over the course of 5 years.
I mean,
well, clearly Tony wasn't as interested in saving people's lives as other people in the Avengers over the course of those 5 years.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of. He got like they let Shield or Sword take Vision just like completely like he wasn't that damaged before. He just had that hole in his head. But
they probably fucked with him.
Shield or Sword completely just disassembled him.
Well, maybe they shipped him from Wakanda, like super low quality freight, back to wherever Sword is located, and he just got jumbled around in the FedEx plane.
Yeah, those flat rate boxes where you just kind of.
Yeah, that's how he showed up.
You just gotta stuff everything in there.
One thing that I realized because I did watch Age of Ultron this past weekend, but I also watched Infinity War and Endgame as well. And based on what with WandaVision, with the timeline, it seems like the day after the snap happens, she goes and just boop and scoops up Vision's body. That happens the next day. She goes and just scoops it up. So
yeah,
I imagine
that was footage.
More flashbacks and shit to what actually happened.
Did you guys hear that Feige was saying that was footage where she goes and picks him up was footage that was filmed for Endgame, but they didn't feel like it went with the movie?
I
That
could
would
see
Yeah,
have
that.
because
really
it
weird
wouldn't
side
fit.
plot.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the last 20 minutes, that'd be the weirdest epilogue.
Yeah.
It's just like
I
the
guess they-
fucking aliens from
They're like,
Scary
oh,
Movie
well,
3 just
yeah.
walking past them.
They're like, oh, well, here's the funeral memorial service for Tony Stark. Oh, and there's Scarlet Witch fucking breaking into Steel Vision's corpse. I'm glad that did not happen.
It
Did you-
definitely fits
Um,
better in that episode.
Did you guys see the remarks on that Feige made about the last 3 episodes? How they're all going to be an hour at least.
I
Episodes.
did not see that,
I did
but
not know. That
Yeah.
I like the sound of
lovely.
that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
He tweet. Yeah, I think he tweeted.
God
it
bless you,
earlier.
Kevin Feige.
Yeah, I read it yesterday.
You're a gentleman and a scholar.
Yeah, that'd be lovely.
So
if
I
that's,
imagine-
if that's true, I'm about that.
Yeah. I
How many
imagine-
more sitcoms are we actually getting? Because I mean, now we're in the 2000s. What else do we got?
I think you're just gonna get that Modern Family one that you were talking about, and it's probably just gonna go fucking off the rails.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love
would-
like an episode where it just keeps bouncing back and forth between the different styles.
Ooh, that'd be
She
cool.
just completely loses it, and it just starts getting weird.
I could see that.
I would like that.
Or if
That'd
there's an
be
episode
neat.
where it just like starts again
Oh,
back in the beginning, and they're like, "What the fuck is going on?" Just-
Back in
Um,
the 50s.
that would be cool. I'm like,
we gotta talk about Yo Magic, the commercial.
Yeah, what was
Oh
that?
yeah.
And why was it so
That was-
disturbing?
That was so.
I was
disturbing.
like, what the fuck is happening?
That was the
right
first
now?
reference I didn't understand. Is it just
It's
magic?
Mephisto.
Oh, it's
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, sure.
the shark is Mephisto.
I don't know. That was the first
Confirmed?
one. That was the
there-
first thing commercial where I was like, maybe Corey's right. Maybe it is
Why,
Mephisto.
though?
Maybe the shark's Mephisto, and Wanda is like the little boy on the island that turns to a skeleton.
Has the shark been in every single episode so far? Have we been missing the shark this whole time as Mephisto?
Well, yeah, there were street sharks in one episode.
Were they really?
Yeah, on rollerblades, just going down the street.
Are you fucking with me right now?
Yes.
Oh, because I got my Street Shark action figures, dude. I'm making a comeback.
Yeah, I don't know. That was the first, like, there were clear references to stuff in every one, like Hydra.
I think
I
there
don't know,
was
I can't
one.
think
The
of
one before that, I
right
don't
now.
think I got either. It was the mom. I
No,
forget
that
what
was,
the commercial was for.
That was the one about Lagos.
Yes.
That
Yeah,
was
it
from
was-
Civil
where-
War. They were referencing the scene where she accidentally blows up the building.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah,
Clean
and
up
then
life's
there was-
messes or whatever.
All right,
There was
that
the
makes sense.
dude. There was the dude who turned them into miracles. He was one of them.
Then
but yeah,
there
this was the
Hydra
first one.
Watch, Then there was
Yep.
the soap or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Well,
I
I
don't know.
think
Maybe it's we'll see Mephisto soon. We've got 3 hours to go apparently.
Mm.
Yeah, I
think-
mean,
I think Evan Peters wears red in this episode for half a second. If you stop it in the right frame, he's wearing a Mephisto t-shirt.
Do you
I
have to?
think.
Do you have to flip the picture?
You have to
in a certain
be
way?
I think you gotta put the subtitles on.
you have to be watching it upside down.
In
Oh,
3D with
okay.
3D glasses, but you can't use like the newfangled 3D glasses. You have to use like the old colored ones with the blue. And
Yeah, if
red
you
lenses.
have one that came with like a Yogi Bear VHS back in the day or something like that, you're good.
Only 4K, only on the Fire Stick, not on the PS5, PS4.
um,
4:3
All right.
ratio.
Doug, you got closing thoughts?
well, I was just gonna point out one more Mephisto thing that the internet was going crazy about was Evan Peters calls Wanda's 2 children like hell spawns or
Yep.
demon spawns or something.
Demon
Everyone's
Spawn.
like, I knew it. Those kids, they're Mephisto.
Well, because
man.
Wanda's kids are created from pieces of Mephisto in the comics. So I don't know if that's just like a weird Easter egg that they just used, or if that's just like an actual call out. I mean, who knows? But that's exactly what that is, because they are created from his energy, or like pieces of him, his soul.
Pretty
or
common
something.
phrase too.
So
I don't know,
It's
man.
all.
The internet
It's
thought
the little
that
things, JP. It's the little
It's the
things.
the
little
little
things.
things. The internet thought that Agnes was a witch the whole time.
They all add
Yeah.
up.
Doesn't look like it. So
I think Kat
So
I
Dennings.
hope
Innocent.
it's just Catherine Hahn.
I think Kat Dennings is going to end up being the big bad of MCU Phase 4.
great. That means she'll be dead in one movie, and we'll never have to see her again. Boom. Done.
All right. We will talk to you guys next week about WandaVision episode 7. But for now, let's move on to our feature presentation, which, if you've been listening since the start of our program, it is TV shows we'd like to see a movie sequel for. So all 6 of the shows we are about to speak of, they are all off the air. They've all run anywhere from 1 to 5 or 6 seasons. And yeah, we have reasons for why we've chose these ones, but we'll start with the one that was 6 seasons. And it's very simple with why we went with why this one should get a movie. It is Community. And JP, can you let us know why we should get a movie sequel for this one?
Yeah, because of how good quality the last couple seasons. Oh no. 6 seasons in a movie.
Hashtag 6 seasons in a movie. That is correct. It is only to complete the prophecy of 6 seasons in a movie. An in-joke from like season 2 has not yet paid off. Miraculously, we got 6 seasons. It shouldn't have happened, but it ended up on fucking Yahoo screen, so we can get season 6. Dan Harmon returned to the show in season 5 after being fired after season 3. It went through the gas leak season of season 4 with different showrunners. It just so many cast members left and so many things happened, but we actually got 6 seasons. We've yet to get that fucking movie.
I mean,
We
who the
need it.
fuck would even be back for the movie?
No one at this point.
They all said they'd be back. Well, I mean, everyone other than Chevy Chase. I mean, even Donald said he would be back
Wow.
when they did the reunion thing towards the beginning of COVID. So it's on Netflix now. So Netflix would have reason to potentially air it. I mean, this isn't going to be in theaters or anything like that, but we just need a movie. And I mean, for me, the reason, other than the whole prophecy, would be to have a finale that includes the entire gang. I mean, you didn't have Donald Glover. Evander Nicole Brown wasn't in the last season, other than like the last episode. Obviously, it sucks not having Chevy Chase, but
yeah,
his character's dead, and he's an asshole.
Yeah.
But it'd be cool to have this movie. Would you guys watch? All of you guys would probably watch. Corey, you've never actually seen Community, right? Like you've just seen random episodes.
I've seen the first couple seasons, but I haven't seen the last few seasons. Maybe the first 2 or 3. I don't know if I saw season 3, but that's where I stopped.
Gotcha.
I haven't even finished 6 seasons either, so
You don't need to.
I haven't either.
Just skip it to the movie. Doug, you've watched like 5 and a half at least. Don't you have like only 3 episodes to go?
So which ones were,
I don't know where I left off.
Which ones were the new seasons? 5 and 6, or just 6? Like
They all aired in a row.
Oh, I thought that they stopped and they came back and did
a
few extra.
It got
seasons.
canceled by NBC, but then picked up by Yahoo like
immediately.
A few days later.
Got it. And those were not good.
Or a month later, maybe. It was just fine. I mean, the show was very much something that peaked early. The first half of it. Once like Dan Harmon got fired and the cast members started leaving, it just went like it was just okay.
Yeah, it's like Arrested Development. It's really strongly front loaded, and then they try to bring it back, and it weren't good.
Doesn't work as well.
No.
But maybe just for 2 hours, it could work a little bit better than full seasons like Arrested Development.
Honestly, it's hard to catch lightning in a jar multiple times. But man, they made a sequel to Dumb and Dumber.
They did.
Did anyone actually
stupider
see that?
things? I'm sure there are people that have have
It was
watched it.
bad. It was bad.
Oh, I
haven't
watched
seen
it too. Yeah, it was fucking terrible
It was not good.
and very not memorable.
Yeah, I
mean-
can't tell you really anything about it.
I just remember some kind of convention at the end or something like that.
I don't remember that at all. I think I blocked this movie from
Yeah.
my memory. I just know I watched it.
I have
Shit.
not.
I think they've made worse ideas for making movies than a Community movie just to get you your 6 seasons. Make it an hour and a half or something like that.
Yeah,
It doesn't have to be long.
be 80 minutes. As long as it counts as a movie, we're good.
What is the threshold in minutes for a movie?
I believe it's.
Isn't it 80 minutes?
Should be 90 minutes.
No, I believe it's only 70 minutes.
There you
It
go,
would
71
would
minutes.
qualify for awards.
71 minutes.
So, all right, JP, what is the next one on the list? I'm calling you out because this is wait, nope. You go to you do yours.
Let's
first.
just do it anyway. You already
yeah.
called me out.
Do it anyway.
We're completing the circle. The book that became a movie, that became a television show, that should become a book and then a movie again. But just take the book out again and make it a movie.
The Circle of Life.
Circle of Life, and that's Friday Night Lights. And I want all the actors and actresses to come back and play high school kids, even though they're 40 now. No.
Jesse Plemons has to come back and kill people.
Jesse Plemons has to come back and kill people because he kills people in every movie. Because it's just what he does.
Including Friday Night Lights.
Wait, he's on that show?
I
I
think
didn't even know that.
So
Yeah.
he is that
I've never-
show, man.
I've never
He
seen
was
the show.
on. He's not on
Every
season
single
5,
season.
right? Or he is on season 5?
I think he's on season 5, yeah.
Okay, but he's not obviously in high school anymore in season 5.
I don't. His
Friday Night
timeline
Lights
always
is
confused
great.
the shit out of me.
Because they just fuck around with everyone's years that they're in school. They're like, all right, well, we want this character to still be on it, so let's retcon them and say they were a freshman. In
Yeah,
season
they did
1.
it with him because he's best friends
Yeah.
with Matt Saracen. Matt Saracen goes to college, and then Jesse Plemons is in high school for at least 2 to 3 more years, which I find hilarious.
Yeah, the same with Riggins. They're like, oh well, he hangs out with all these kids all the time. Then they all graduate. They're like, well, no, he was a junior, and he still has another year to go. Because
It's not
we want
completely
him
out
to
of.
continue.
I mean, maybe he got left back. I have no idea. He's best friends with Jason Street, but he's like, oh no, it's a shame that you're going off to college next year, and I'll be a senior in high school.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it would be fun to see. I don't know what the hell you'd make the movie about now that everyone's old as shit, but it would be great to see Coach in Philadelphia coaching
Yeah, just-
football.
Just be Coach and Mrs. Coach doing their thing.
Tammy, and Julie. and
Oh,
Matt.
Doug, you wanted a TV show to watch. You haven't watched Friday Night Lights yet, right?
No, I haven't, but does it hold up? Because it's from
Yeah.
When did that show come out?
2005 to 2010.
I watched
Sometimes
it at the
those
beginning of
2005 shows
quarantine,
don't-
man.
Okay.
Still good.
Sometimes those 2005 shows don't.
They,
Don't hold
yeah,
up.
they have a reputation.
Thankfully, there's
just-
no special effects in this show, so it doesn't
Well, a lot
look
of times,
dated.
too, what we consider good TV in the early 2000s isn't really good TV today.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, it's
But it's good.
compelling to a degree. Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff there.
Got a lot of talent on it.
Yeah, Friday Night Lights, the series, the movie,
The book.
coming to straight to DVD near you? Question mark. We'll find
All
out.
right. Next up, we've got a one season wonder, a show where a lot of the cast ended up doing great things after the fact and being in some major blockbusters. It is Freaks and Geeks. So, I mean, you've got Seth Rogen, James Franco, Jason Segel, Martin Starr, Busy Phillips, Linda Cardellini, John Francis Daly, just the list goes on. Judd Apatow, Paul Feig, creators. But yeah, this was one that was unjustly, well, I mean, it was justly canceled in the fact that it had terrible ratings.
Yeah,
No one watched it.
literally.
It was unjustly
no one-
canceled in the fact that it was really fucking good, and the channel that canceled it moved it around at the time, like slots all the time, like days and times that it was on. They'd go weeks at a time without episodes. They weren't able to build any sort of momentum or anything like that. They would air episodes out of order. They didn't even air a bunch of episodes. So it had it was kind of destined to fail. The fact that it
Wild West
existed in the
television.
first, the fact that it existed in the first place is kind of a miracle. But while it did have a good series finale, I feel like you can still do more with it, and you can definitely make bank on this movie now, because of the fact that people have watched it over the past 20 years on Netflix or Hulu now. At this point in time, it is on Hulu. And just the fact that everyone involved has successes. And there's nothing more natural than like a reunion. We're all in high school together. You do a high school reunion movie. Boom. There's reason to have everyone together for like a 20-year reunion. I was probably pitching this myself 10 years ago for a 10-year reunion type movie. But that didn't happen. So out into the world now for 20 years.
So what you're saying is
who-
Zack and Miri make a porno, but Freaks and Geeks.
Yes, exactly. Or American Reunion, but Freaks and Geeks.
Yeah.
Everyone here has seen Freaks and Geeks?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, a long
Yeah.
time ago.
Yeah, I'm due for a rewatch on that one. It's been far
Doug,
too long.
Doug, you gave like I don't know if I saw it.
I've seen like an episode or two,
Oh,
and that was it. How many
Gotcha.
seasons did it run? Like 2 or 3 seasons?
One.
One.
One. Oh,
Who
that's
knows?
what you were just talking about.
Just the one.
It's good to know you listened. It's a very quick commitment of 18 episodes.
Our audience does not include Doug.
Oh, my God.
It's good
He didn't
to
know our
that.
thoughts on Freaky earlier, and now he doesn't even know our thoughts on the only thing we're talking about right now.
This was like a 10-season show that we got to watch.
I wish.
How many movies did they make already?
But yeah, I mean, I doubt this will ever happen, but it'd be cool if it did.
Yeah, I think it's too far gone at this point, but the star power that you would have from this movie, just from everyone that was in it, would be pretty crazy.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. All right. Next up on here, we have another comedy. Who wants to take Party Down? I'm not going to give a long intro for it because I don't think probably many people have even watched this show.
This
Such
is
a
one
good
I haven't
show,
seen.
though.
I, have
I
not
started
seen this.
rewatching this a couple months ago. I didn't get through it, but this is another one that just the clout of comedians that they had on this show as regulars are just fantastic. You had Ken Marino, you had Martin Starr. I forget the woman's name. I always forget her name. What is it?
Jane Lynch,
Jane Lynch, but then the main
Lizzie Kaplan.
Lizzie Kaplan. Yeah,
Oh.
it's just such a good cast for a comedy show, and then the
Adam
the
Scott.
cameos they have. Yeah, Adam Scott. Yeah, the cameos they have in this movie are the TV show are just out of this world too. It has so much potential just because they're caterers in Hollywood, so you could have like crazy names attached to this, and they already got crazy names for a TV show that was what, 1 season, 2 seasons?
Yeah, it was 2 seasons,
2
20
seasons.
episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was 2 10-episode seasons. But man, this show kind of had like a little bit of a like dark side to it. Like it was like their job's depressing, and like
They're all sad people.
they're all trying to become like actors or writers in Hollywood, but none of them are making it. Ken Marino's like the old guy who's like his life just sucks, and it just like kind of makes fun of it the entire time. But you can make it even like darker and like more fucked up now if it's 10 years later and they're still all doing this catering gig. I think it would be
really
pretty funny. But yeah, this was one where ran 2 seasons on Stars. Adam Scott left to do Parks and Recreation when he realized it was not going to get picked up for a third season. So obviously that worked for him, since Parks and Rec got as big as it ever did after he joined the show.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one where if you guys have not seen it, you should definitely go back. You can definitely watch it on Stars, since that's where.
Hulu.
Okay, yeah, that
I
would
think
make
that's
sense.
where I was watching it.
Stars, a lot of Star stuff is on Hulu, so.
Yeah. So Doug, if you're looking for another TV show to watch, this is a really good one to watch.
Yeah, I like this show.
You've seen it?
Yeah, I've seen.
I think we watched a
4 or
bunch of
5
it
episodes.
when we were down in Florida like 10 years ago.
Wow.
Maybe. Yeah, it's not for me.
Oh wow.
It's another one of like the In the Shadows or What We Do in the Shadows. I don't know.
The great TV show that you inexplicably don't like.
With lots
know,
of people
there's-
that you probably do like.
It falls into like the category that for whatever reason it doesn't hit for me, but obviously hits for you guys. So Corey will probably like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Corey would. So Corey, add it to your list. Doug, don't watch it.
Forget you've ever watched it, Doug.
Forgotten.
Doug, take the next one. It's been kind of in the news recently for a potential 4th season.
Yeah, and we got a unrelated TV show that came out right now called Clarice.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
So
I
I
was
guess
wondering if
it's
that's-
Silence of the Lambs is still hot, I guess.
That's actually a Sons of Lamp show. Interesting.
Yeah, except for they're not allowed to say Hannibal Lecter.
Really?
Interesting.
Yeah. They do not have the rights to like Buffalo Bill, Hannibal Lecter, a lot, basically any character that was involved in
Why
like the
make it them?
psychiatric
Loser
facility,
folks,
like
yeah.
Dr. Chilton can't do it. But Hannibal wasn't allowed to do Clarice.
One of those things is not like the other.
Yeah, one of them won the battle.
Yeah. So what I was talking about, of course, was the Hannibal TV show that I don't even know where it aired because I watched it on.
NBC.
Ooh.
Ooh, okay.
How crazy is that?
Um,
Because that shit was fucking gory.
Yeah.
It's a really dark show for NBC. That's kind of surprising. It kind of felt like a cable
Mm-hmm.
TV show.
Isn't NBC all old people shit?
Nah, it's CBS.
Ah, right.
CBS
yeah,
is
Hannibal-
where TV goes to die, just like the old people watching it. Hey,
Is NCIS on it?
yeah, no,
Law and Order?
NCIS is on CBS.
CBS, yeah. That's like the longest running show on Earth. I think in
Yeah,
terms of like volumes of episodes, they probably
It's
have.
on. It's just consistently on in nursing homes.
What about Law and
Just-
Order? Isn't Law
But
and
they
Order
still
CBS?
produce it.
Yeah, because there's never not people in nursing homes.
And there's always people watching it.
Sorry, Doug. Talk about Hannibal.
No, you're good. I love these little side rants. But no, Hannibal was a good show that lost its way in the last season. But season 1, season 2, one of the better shows on TV. I thought cast-wise, it was a stellar cast. You had Mads Mikkelsen doing an awesome performance as a Hannibal that's very different than the performance in Silence of the Lambs. In that he comes off as like very intelligent, very polished. Very much you could see him disarming people into thinking that he's this friendly, nice guy that isn't cutting people up and doing horrific things to people. Hugh Dancy is a good foil in this like kind of crazy guy that's tracking Hannibal.
Yeah, I mean he's like just as messed up in the head as Hannibal. Well, not as he's not eating people, so he's not as messed up. But
They have this weird connection though throughout the TV show because they're similar in being psychopaths.
you can make the argument that that Will Graham's brain is more broken than Hannibal Lecter's. Like Hannibal Lecter is a fucking psychopath, but
He's a
Will Graham's
functioning-
losing it. Will Graham's losing his mind
Yeah.
on this show.
Hannibal Lecter's a
Yeah,
functioning psychopath.
He embraces who he is
Yeah.
instead of
Yeah.
trying to fight it.
Yeah, and it's kind of like they kind of do it on Killing Eve, but it's a fun like I know you're like me, and like the Hannibal Lecter character kind of like taunts like the Will Graham character and trying to like appeal to that like you're also a psychopath, like this is like who you are. So they kind of have this weird dynamic where they're kindred spirits, but Will Graham's trying to be like the good guy. Hannibal Lecter's very clearly embraces being the bad guy. But
It's Batman and the Joker.
Yeah, it's very, very similar to that.
I've never seen
but
this.
it's a good show.
It's really good.
It's really gory though,
Yeah.
despite it airing on NBC. So that may be.
But it's all really people getting like it's like aftermaths. You're not actually seeing people get murdered.
Yeah.
It's
might
finding
be
the
able to
bodies, and
handle-
they're these elaborate things.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
I might
takes
be
the
Mason-
bodies
like-
apart.
The Mason Verger stuff in season 2 was as brutal as it gets.
Yeah. Maybe not.
Him peeling off his face,
Yeah.
that was messed up.
So what do you think they would do
But,
for a movie? Are they going to do so they clearly can't get Clarice in it. Can they do
least-
Silence of the Lambs?
They were always trying to get the rights. That doesn't seem likely right now, just because of this TV show.
Yeah.
But I know that Brian Fuller, the showrunner, has an idea for the fourth one, and people that have heard it have been like, yes. And the entire cast is down to do it. But my preference would be a season 4. But if a movie would have to suffice, I'll take the movie. Because the show ends on somewhat of a cliffhanger. Literally a cliffhanger.
I was gonna say literally.
So yeah, the show's on Netflix now. I think I said that at the beginning. So it's getting more of an audience than it ever has in the past.
I still have to go back and finish it.
Yeah, I mean, season 3, like Doug said, it goes a bit downhill for the first half because the first half adapts Hannibal to an extent,
Mm-hmm.
and then the second half is like a very straight adaptation of Red Dragon. The second half is really good, in my opinion. But that first half is very odd. It's like a very weird art house type of movie. It blows my mind that it was on NBC.
I would skip the first half of season 3 if you could.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah.
I don't even think it like
I'd
really
probably start
connects.
at 6 or 7. Just because it does have some good, like the way the first half ends is really cool.
How long are these seasons?
13 episodes.
Oh, okay. I was thinking
Yeah,
they were
they're
like 20 something.
Yeah, no. They're decent. It was like a summer show, I believe, on NBC. So yeah, it's something that could be watched quickly. Yeah. And then Corey, you want to take our last one?
Yeah, sure. So the last one is Daredevil. The Netflix show starring Charlie Cox, Deborah Ann Woll, good old Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin. This one I would really hope for a movie at some point, or at least
an MCU movie.
Yeah, an MCU movie, or bring the characters into another MCU movie, which we might see. That's the rumor. Who knows? But I didn't see season 3, which again I need to go back and watch. But season 1 was so strong. Season 2 was kind of a letdown for the most part. It had its moments, but just as a whole, these characters were realized so well. And just for Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin, that man should be Kingpin. He deserves to be Kingpin on the silver screen. He deserves that. So I just think that this world that they created, and especially since it's supposed to be connected to the MCU, it deserves definitely another shot. It sucks that Netflix just, I mean, I guess they had to, but it sucks that, this got shafted in the way that it did. This show specifically, because the other shows, not that they weren't as good, but the stories definitely were basically over. I feel like this show could have gone on for longer.
Yeah.
There's a lot more story to be told here.
You know what this feels like? If you were to bring Daredevil into the MCU as a movie, it almost feels like how they brought Spider-Man into the MCU as a movie. Spider-Man,
Where he's been around for a while.
Yeah, it feels like it was just a TV show that they turned into a movie. They start with the whole rebuilding after the first Avengers.
I could see that.
It can be done. It's a little late in the game. I feel like to just bring in some guy that has questionable superpowers. But definitely part of like an ensemble cast or something. Like everyone keeps saying Spider-Man would be the perfect sort of insert for that, but I don't think you can Sony doesn't own, they just own Spider-Man.
Yeah,
and Marvel has the rights to these TV shows.
Well,
so it'd be weird to like shoehorn in their own guys into it.
And then there was a clause up until last year, at some point last year, where those characters couldn't appear in any of the MCU.
Yeah, there's like
something like that.
A 2-year window, I believe.
Yeah. I mean,
but that is passed as of the fall.
Yeah. I think what will most likely happen, if anything, is you'll see a Charlie Cox Daredevil pop into a movie. But to JP's point, I mean, it's the more that time goes on, it's going to be, the window is just going to get smaller and smaller. It just doesn't make sense. I mean, a lot of people watch these shows, but a lot of people watch these shows, 2 or 3 years ago at this point?
Yeah, the hype's not there anymore.
When did the show start? 2015? 2016?
Yeah, 2015.
So
yes, 15.
Yeah, I just think the opportunity is probably getting smaller and smaller where it makes sense. But
every fucking once in a while, Daredevil will like trend on Twitter. People want this shit. Like fucking Justice League people wanted Zack Snyder's version.
Yeah.
They want to see him return. Not as crazy as...
It's horrifying how much they justify those movies.
Mm-hmm.
I know. But yes, they're like a much lesser extreme version of that.
Yeah.
I think the thing too, though, with Daredevil is, and I've talked about this before, but it ended on such a good note with season 3. Like season 3 was a very strong season, and so it felt like, to me, like, oh, Daredevil's back. Like we're definitely going to get a season 4, and then that's when Netflix, Marvel, they just wound up canceling everybody.
Flushed them.
And so a lot of those Netflix Marvel shows, it made sense because a lot of them had gone downhill. But that was a show that came back after what was a very mixed season 2 and delivered, I thought, a pretty strong season 3.
You can make the argument that it was its best season.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to see almost all of those characters come back, like John Bernthal as Punisher, Kristen Ritter as Jessica Jones, Luke Coulter as Luke, is it Luke Coulter? Who's Luke Cage? I feel like Mike Coulter is Luke Cage.
Yeah.
I'd like to see them all come back. Not so much Iron Fist, but not necessarily headlining their own movies, but at least like showing that they are legitimately part of the MCU.
They're
in like any supporting roles.
They're interesting enough characters that they could be written into pretty significant and just really good roles in whatever stories they're going to be telling in the MCU.
Yeah, like throw Jessica Jones on She-Hulk as like a PI for somebody. Like you can get these characters as supporting roles.
They wouldn't meld well with the whole Avengers costume wearing weirdos. I feel like most of them would scoff. I mean, Daredevil wears a costume, but he's blind. He can't see himself.
But he was never cooler than when he was wearing like a homemade costume.
Yeah.
That's his best costume.
I hate the homemade costume.
I love the black.
Oh yeah, I forgot. We had differing views on that. I love the
Oh,
homemade
Costume is
one.
so sick.
Nah, I'm so anti homemade black costume. It's ridiculous. But it boggles my mind why they went through so much trouble to segregate these shows from the Marvel universe, and then to be like, well, they do exist side by side, but we're never gonna put any of them, not even a cameo in any of these movies.
Now, Murph,
It was that whole
is-
Marvel
yeah,
TV division versus Marvel film
Yeah.
division.
they like hated each other
Like,
apparently, right? That was
Yeah,
like the whole thing.
Feige and Jeff Loeb did not get along, to my knowledge. And so then once Feige got like complete control, he basically said, "Fuck you, TV division, you're out." And then
He
Disney
rips
Plus
the-
stuff started.
He rips the gem out of Jeff Loeb's forehead and puts it in his glove.
Yep,
Exactly.
pretty much. Let's just hope that he doesn't have like a hatred for the characters that they created, just Jeff Loeb.
I mean, Kevin Feige is inevitable.
He
Yeah.
starts bringing them into movies and killing them off.
Oh God.
And he saves them. So it's like he takes out Iron Fist first, and everyone's like, "Oh, that's great." And then it's like he drops Jessica Jones into a movie, and gone. And he just leads up to Daredevil.
It would.
Shit.
One last thought with Daredevil. It would be cool to at least see Vincent D'Onofrio and Tom Holland go at it, because he is also, pretty big Spider-Man villain. So that would be pretty epic. I think that would be really cool to see.
Does
Yeah.
Kingpin actually have superpowers, or is he just beefy?
No, he's freakishly strong. I don't think he
He's
has.
like a beefy nacho loaded griller.
Yeah, more or less.
Sure.
He's
I'll
just
take it.
he's just naturally freakishly strong.
Fair enough.
All right. Well, I think that covers it, guys.
All right.
That is all we have for today. Thanks as always for listening. Next week, we are going to be going over award-winning movies that we disagree with and do not like, since we've got the Golden Globes coming up over in the next 2 weeks. So we'll likely talk about some predictions as well for that, or things we would like to see win. But yeah, keep liking, subscribing, all those things. Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, online. Let us know any TV shows that we did not cover that you'd like to see become movies, your favorite TV adaptations, all those kind of things. But as always, this has been Corey, Doug, JP, and Murph at Live Breathe Film. We'll be back next week, and we hope you are too.
See ya. Deuces.